What makes you feel good? What floats your boat and makes your steps lighter? What puts a smile on your face without fail and make even your hump day blues disappear? Well, those are the kind of positive ideas we want to focus on because from this point and on, it's good vibes only. On Good Vibes Only, we invite some good people into the studio to talk about good things only. That is, whatever makes us feel happy, whether it's foods, moods, hoods, or goods. And today's good person with the good vibes is wellness expert Jasmine Park.
Hi.
Hello and welcome to Wonder Hours. Thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your journey, like where you began and what you feel most passionate about today?
Sure. Do I look here or to you or?
You could just look at me.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Jasmine and I'm currently a leadership and wellness coach. But I also independently consult businesses and I'm also a podcast host. So I wear a lot of different hats. I actually started my journey in a tech company. And when I was working, I had this very big passion for wellness because I had a lot of health complications when I was in high school and in college. So I started to have a lot of passion for, having a healthier body image, healthier mind. And that's when I started my own company here in Korea back in 2017. It's a wellness startup. Wrapped that up in 2020, worked in the IP media industry for a little bit.
Wow.
Actually got into a car accident, which kind of stopped everything, my career, my momentum. And then I started thinking about what I really wanted to do with my life. And I realized I really want to continue to empower people and their wellness and their health. And so that's kind of how, where I'm at right now.
Wow. You have done so many wonderful things. And it's something that we all need at the moment. I feel like everyone needs that wellness mindset and also physically, mentally, both of that. So you, like you said, you have worn so many hats. Wow, from leadership roles to wellness coaching. So now how did those earlier experiences shape who you are now?
I think I was thinking a lot because I think everything happens for a reason. I think that is actually something that keeps me going because sometimes life throws really bad things at you and these storms come and go, but you got to keep going. And for me, I think everything kind of happens. And so I think I had bulimia and anxiety when I was younger, which was the health complication. And I think that really shaped me into who I am right now. Of course, while I was going through it, it was, the hardest times, but that got me to be someone who became really passionate at a very young age about health. I think when we're younger, we're always just thinking about how can we move forward, go, hustle. But I think that was like a very much awakening moment. And, I've worked in like Fortune 500 company, I've worked in a big company, I've worked in a mid-sized company, I worked for myself as well. So all of that kind of gave me an idea of where I wanted to be and what type of work I wanted to do, which is right now I'm a freelancer and I work with a lot of different people and different projects. And I think that really opened me up to the fact that there's not one right answer to life.
Right.
So, yeah.
That is so right. There is no right answer.
There's no right answer.
It's different for everyone.
Yes.
Because life is not a textbook.
Exactly.
Right. So all of these experiences now made you who you are today. So you are a national board certified health and wellness coach. So what a 화려한 name. So what does that certification mean to you and how did it change the way you work with people?
Sure. I wanted to get certified for two reasons. Number one was I wanted to be a better listener. So I knew that I love talking, I love expressing myself, but I think one of the biggest skills of being just a human in general and a good person in a good relationship and also to be able to empower someone else is to be able to listen. And there's a difference between hearing and listening, right? You could be hearing, but you're not really listening to what they're saying. You're thinking about what should I say next, which, that makes sense as well. But when you listen, it's really about, catching the emotions and the verbal and nonverbal cues that these people are doing. So I think I just wanted to be a better person, and I knew that coaching was actually something that would help me to do that. And so I knew that coaching was a good way to go. Number two, I knew that I wanted to be in wellness. And so rather than go for a different route or a different more highly certified and recognized route, I wanted to see what was right for me. That's when I found this National Board for Health and Wellness Coach. And so I prepared for that for, I think, 4 to 5 months before I took the test. The test was 3.5 hours long.
Wow.
And you have to have 50 coaching logs. So I actually volunteered at my high school to coach for the kids there.
Wow.
I volunteered for acquaintances as well. And
this is a certification that you get in the States, or
yes,
not in Korea?
yes, it's virtual, but it is a national board, and the national is the U.S. So I got that there. I think it's a beginning step for me. I didn't really think about this as, okay, let's be a coach and let's do all these virtual coaching sessions. That is one route, but I think this is a good stepping stone to really establishing myself as someone in wellness who's certified, but also someone who can listen.
I love how you mentioned listening and how the difference between listening and hearing.
Yes.
Because as a DJ myself,
Of course.
it's something that I have to apply to, and it's something that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you could just be hearing and then just like 한 귀로 듣고 한 귀로 흘릴 수도 있으니까, right? So yes, very important point that I. As you were saying, I was thinking about the next question, and you said hearing is just when you is already thinking about the next question. I'm like, oh.
No, I completely get you, because we'll talk about the podcast that I run as well, but half the time I'm like, next question. But then at the same time, I'm like, but I need to summarize what you said and also refer to what you said, and that means I need to be listening.
There's so much going on. So it's a big assignment for me to listen well. So
Yes.
it's a great topic that I'm so happy that you brought it up. One time I was out with JYP, my ex-CEO.
Yes.
And he loves to talk.
Yes.
And he has lots of knowledge and insight. So as we were having dinner, just the two of us, I remember he just like one-sidedly talked throughout the dinner.
Yeah.
I just said yes. I just nodded. Just some expressions. And then later I heard that he thought I was a very good listener. 대화가 너무 잘 된다. When I didn't, I barely said anything. I just nodded and just reacted to.
I think but the fact that you didn't interject and say what you wanted to, I think that's what most people do, because they want to prove themselves, right? They want to prove themselves that they're at the same level or intellectual level. But to be able to listen and to push that down actually is one of the main reasons I got married to my husband, because he's a great listener and I love talking, and, and I still bombard him with words. But I think it's a skill that is underrated, to be a good listener. So perfect. He knew exactly that you would be right for this position here right now.
Yes. Now, and many people consider changing direction later in life, but they hesitate. So what would you say to someone who feels that it's too late to make a meaningful change?
So I was making actually a very big decision this past month. And it was going the semi-traditional route of being an executive at a startup, and then going my own route as a freelancer. And I was thinking a lot. I was like, what do I want to sacrifice? What do I want to do right now? The correct way in terms of a early 30-something-year-old would be to have a career, build it up, maybe, rather than going your own route and like exploring, right? Because like early 30s, people are like, you gotta push through in your career and make something out of it. But my dad said something that really hit me in the head. It was, you only live this phase of your life once. You only get to see your parents at this age once, and you only get to perhaps have a kid at a healthy age once. But you have to work until forever, if you think about it. And if you think about how many years we live now, before it was 60 years, now it's 100. By the time your kids probably go up, it'll be 120 years. So that means 정년퇴직 is 65, but that's probably going to be pushed. So we'll be working until forever. That means you should probably explore a lot of different things to find out what works for you and what doesn't. And so
Don't just settle on one thing.
yeah, I mean, if you want to, that's fine. I think that's very admirable as well, especially
if that's right for you.
Yes. But I think if you want to jump to something, you think that, you might not be able to come back. I'm perhaps sorry to say that you just have so much time on your hands. So just think of this life that we have as a journey. If you want to spend the next 10 years trying something new, I'm sure that'll all accumulate to something that'll happen later as well. So I think these detours are all something that makes you, only you and a very unique person that you are. So I would say go for it. This is what I have to tell myself every day too. So I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to everyone else.
I can feel that you are a true go-getter.
I am.
We had a go-getter at our team, the Wonder Girls.
Yeah.
It was Yeon 언니.
Really?
You kind of remind me of
Really?
언니. Yes. Now we're going to take a quick song break before we come back to chat some more. And this is a song requested by you, Jasmine.
Yes.
And it's 거꾸로 강을 거슬러 오르는 저 힘찬 연어들처럼. What a long title.
Yes, very long.
And like a shaman tracing up the river by 강산에. We just heard 거꾸로 강을 거슬러 오르는 저 힘찬 연어들처럼 like a salmon tracing up the river by 강산에. So what made you choose this song?
Can I read you the lyrics a little bit in
please.
English?
Yes.
I just pulled it up because I thought that would be a lot better. So,
Great song, by the way.
yeah. So basically the lyrics say, like the salmon that swims up against the flowing river and their own mysterious ways that I cannot explain. Since I can remember, I've been walking on this road. Of the many crossroads, even if this road that I'm walking on is a winding road that takes me a long way around, the soles of my feet harden if I keep walking. And so I thought about the fact that I think a lot of people, when they think of, okay, you're a celebrity's daughter, you went to a good school, your first job was in a tech company, there's a route that people think that you'll go and expect. But I think I'm going up against the currents when it comes to that. When I started my first business at 23, freelancing right now. So I think, I was like, maybe I am that salmon. Like maybe I am going, across the currents and going up the river. And I think that it might take me a longer time than maybe other people. But I think this is the right way to go. And, it says 걸어가다 보면, right? So if I keep walking, there's that confidence. There's that inner kind of quiet confidence that I'll get somewhere. And I think that's kind of the belief that I really want to tell myself and that I want to have. So I jokingly was like, I'll be a salmon this year and I'll be flopping through the rivers.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring that you don't settle down because you already have such a great background, like education and everything. You could have just settled down, but you didn't just stop there. But you decided to keep going, keep searching for what's right for you and to find who you are.
Yes.
And I think that's so inspiring that more people should follow your footsteps.
It's a very hard conversations that you have to have with yourself, right? But I thankfully enjoy those conversations, and I think that kind of on one hand it continuously makes me unstable, right? I don't like stability, for example, but I like stability when it comes to my personal life. But when it comes to growth and new possibilities and opportunities, I think that that's what really pushes me. And I think it's these deep conversations that I have with myself, asking myself if this is what I really want to do, if this is where I want to be, and being true to myself, which is sometimes very scary.
Yeah. So I can feel that ever since you were even much younger, you are someone that keeps searching for that passion and for that dream. Because so many people, even though they're much older, still don't know or haven't found the right thing for them.
Yeah.
So very motivated. Let's listen to, let's read some messages. And this is your friend?
Yes.
Would you like to read the message?
Raisin is back said, Woo! Go, Jasmine, bring the good vibes.
I thought the ID was Rain is back.
Yeah.
Rain is coming back.
I know. We both listened to
friend.
that, so yes. But she is my best friend. She's currently in California.
Oh.
Yeah, we were just on the phone actually right before I came in, and yes.
Thank you for watching. And Kitty Girl 1404 says, "Hello, Jasmine Park. Long time no see. This is the first time I'm seeing you on screen, even though I've heard your voice on other radio programs before. Welcome to On the Hours, and my question is, how do you overcome stress?"
Great question. Great question. This is a hard one.
Yeah.
I think it differs. I think a lot of times, sometimes the best way to do it for me is sleep. I love sleeping, which is quite ironic because everyone's like, you're so busy, but I do get 8 hours of sleep every single day. I think it's really important for me.
Enjoy it while you
I
can.
know. I was just talking about that. So yeah, I do that. I think sometimes it's polar opposites, but sometimes I need to journal by myself, like write by myself, or I need to go out and see my friends. This again is like, what do you feel like? What is your gut telling you? That's how I kind of overcome stress. I don't think I have one answer, but these days it's been a lot of different things, including walking 30 minutes actually in the morning. I try to do that at least 3 times a week. Just because, not because I want to sweat, not because I want to like pace myself something. I think walking really helps me just like, it helps me focus on the act itself versus everything else that's going on in my life. So that's kind of a routine that I'm trying to keep.
Are you into sports? Are you an athletic person?
Yeah, so I've been athletic, I think, for my whole life. Team sports. Actually, my startup, I taught boxing.
You taught boxing?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I taught boxing. I was a runner before. I think now I try to take it a little bit more chill. You know, I work out at different studios. I studio hop, depending on what I want to do. But that one thing that I want to keep there is just walking a lot.
I love to walk too.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I like to do. And, like, breathing.
Yes.
숨쉬기 운동.
Breathing is very important.
Yes, but sleeping is,
Yes.
That's a great answer because I think so too. It's the most important thing to get energized for your sleep and get your beauty
Absolutely.
sleep. Yes. And Min F4 05X says 몸 마음 관리만큼 중요할 게 있을까요? 새해가 되었으니 영감을 좀 받고 갈게요. 감사합니다. So what could be more important than taking care of your mind and body? And now that it's the new year, I'm here to get some inspirations. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely right. I think the reason why I am so passionate about wellness is because I think it's the foundation to being able to do what you want to do. So I realized early on that, you know, I wanted to do so many things, right? But as soon as your body breaks down, as soon as your mind breaks down, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's just really sad. And so having that foundation, I think, is very important. And I think the only person that can actually help you is yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that's super important. So be kind to yourself. I used to think that self-compassion was for the weak because I am ENTJ. MBTI. So, you know, if you think about the TJs and, you know, and I get it. And so when someone comes to me like, 너무 힘들어, and they're like, and I bought some bread, right? That, you know, thing. I'm just like, why'd you buy bread?
빵 샀어.
Yeah. I'm like, why'd you buy bread? Tell me, and like, let's figure it out. But
Solutions.
Exactly. And I thought that was what was being strong. But I realized when you're in your darkest moments, you have to be compassionate to yourself and tell yourself that it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. You deserve to have that downtime and to maybe, you know, seclude yourself if you need to, or let go of some things, because that actually brings you back up to who you are and who you can be. So I realized that it's not always being so TJ that's very strong. It's being and having that self-compassion. So
that's right. When you're in your darkest moment, I think one of the best advice I got was that be sad as much as you can until you feel better. Because sometimes people people can't stand you
Yes.
being sad. So
Yes.
they're like, stop being so sad.
Yeah.
But then personally, when I was sad and my friend said, 슬퍼할 만큼, just you can be sad as much as you
Yes.
want. And that was very supporting for me.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I think that's so right. Yeah.
Now, earlier on the show, I was talking to our listeners about self-affirmations, and listener Luciano S. Jr. wrote, "That's something I have to work on, but at this moment, I don't have enough self-esteem to make any self-affirmations." But he also wrote, "I'm 29 years now, and I'm back to studying what I like after many years thinking it was too late. I regret not doing it earlier, but if I don't start now, I'll just regret again." Now, I don't see why he's lacking self-esteem, but do you have any helpful messages for Luciano?
I think you're right. I think that, sure, self-esteem might seem something that's so high above. Like you see all these people who are very confident, but even just taking the chance and being able to bet on yourself going back when you thought it was late to what you love studying, I think that in and of itself it takes a lot of courage. So I think that is something that can be applauded. And it's not late. It's never late, I think. Right. Yeah. So kudos to that. I think, Luciano, if you're watching, if you're listening, I think you should give yourself a pat on the back.
That's
and
right.
say,
you're doing a good job.
Yes,
Keep
doing
it
a good
up.
job.
Now, back to the question. So you often talk about shifting from guiding people towards solutions to co-creating growth with them. So how does that collaborative approach support resilience?
Good question. I think, as I said before, there's not one answer. I used to think that there was one answer. I think if you do business or if you're, pursuing something, you should have that one answer. But after I've been through a lot of different things and realized that, as I said, everyone has a different way of life, and everyone's definition of wellness, everyone's definition of resilience might be different, which is why rather than guiding people to one direction, it's better to co-create, to see what actually is beneficial for them and what works for them, to come up with a definition and a framework that really supports them, rather than me assuming that something is right or me assuming that this is one answer. So I think that's where co-creating kind of came together. And when it comes to resilience, I think the most important thing, again, is not to just emulate what other people are doing, but find what works for you.
Oh, that is so important.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to the central point of knowing yourself and having a conversation with yourself, because other people, it might take 1 or 2 days to bounce back. For others, it might take a year, and that's completely okay. But you should go at your speed and be able to do that, and I think that's the direction that we need to go, where we respect each other and plus respect yourself for where you're at.
So what speed are you on right now?
I think I'm a turtle who's like...
Me too.
Yeah, I'm a turtle, but I know which direction I'm going, which is the difference. You could be a turtle just like waddle, 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 which is fine, that's fine. But at least I know where I'm going, and I'm just like walking 1 step of the way, 2 steps of the way, and making a big impact each step of the way.
Wow,
yeah.
I love that. I'm a turtle.
Are you a turtle?
Yeah. We have 2 turtles here.
Yes.
Now, looking back on the past few years, what is one lesson your own resilience has taught you that you would like others to hear?
Yes. Actually, I wrote it down so that I don't forget. Recently, I was talking about the difference between resilience and endurance. And a lot of the times we think they're the same, right? So endurance is pushing through and like being able to, even in the ruts of things, you push through to get to something, right? So when you're running a marathon, you have to continue to push through. Resilience is a little bit different, because even when you're pushing through, if you know that this is too much for you, that's when you say, okay, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to stop. It's okay to fall. It's okay to fail. The essence of resilience is not the fall or the fail, but it's coming back, right? So sometimes endurance is very important, but at other times resilience is important too. And I think the main message in resilience is that you can fall and you can fail. So I think that's something that I realized realize and started to be not too ashamed for.
That it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay to
fall
down.
or be slow
Yeah.
or take some time, right? Because as long as you come back, then it's not a sign of weakness.
That's right. Like 회복 탄력성.
Yes,
But I never
exactly.
thought about the deep meaning behind endurance and resilience. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So how can someone tell the difference between pushing through a challenge and recognizing that they need to rest or reevaluate?
Yeah, this is a really hard one. This is a
Right?
really hard
I'm so
one.
curious.
Yeah, because I've gone through this so many times, and every single time I'm like, okay, you got to push through. And then ultimately, it was like a complete cliff. It felt like a cliff, but it was like go, 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 and then I went completely down. And
I think
so,
not many people know when it's time to
Yes.
rest.
Exactly. And sad to say, I think the only thing that can tell you is through experience. I think you experience it enough and you know, this is the line that I can't cross, right? So I think if you experience it enough, really your gut tells you. I think gut feelings are actually not something that's made up.
Yeah.
I think your gut can really tell you if this is right or this is wrong. You probably know in your head, you probably know whether this is laziness, whether this is you putting on a face, or if it's real, if you really look inside,
All
right?
the answers are in you already.
yes.
And you know it already. You
Yes.
just have to listen to yourself
Yes.
carefully.
Listen to your gut. Your gut will tell you. Sometimes squeezy, sometimes it's like, then you'll probably know.
That's right. Experience. Now it's time for another song break, and here is Jitun and his song Life is Good. That was Life is Good by Jitun. Oh, what a soothing song. And if you're just tuning in, I'm joined by wellness expert Jasmine Park for this week's Good Vibes Only. And now you currently host a podcast,
Yes.
Onchair, which creates space for honest, reflective conversation. So what inspired you to start this?
So before I started this, which was last year, I think June, July, I was talking about the fact that I wanted to do a podcast for like a year. I was like, podcast 하고 싶어, podcast 하고 싶어, podcast 할 거야, but never got to doing it. But I met the team that I'm working with to create this podcast together, and they were actually thinking of changing directions for their content as well. And basically, I proposed to them, hey, I want to do a podcast. You want to change directions. How about we try this podcast thing together? I think long form is really making waves right now, and I think that this might be something that can, help both of us. And they were very optimistic about it, and they were very open to the idea, which is how I got started. And when I started, I made it very, very clear that I didn't want this to be one of those interviews where we're just asking them, how did you become successful? Or how did you exit your company at $100 million? Or, these types of, for me, it just seemed a little bit far off for someone who's ing, like in the process of doing things, versus someone who has already made it. It just didn't feel at home to listen to those. So I wanted to invite people who obviously are doing super well in their sectors, but are also just like us, who are spending every single day hustling, going through different ideas, thoughts, so that we create content that people can empathize with.
Right. So you are looking for people not who are done with the marathon, but people that are still running with us, next to us.
Yes.
So through Onchair, what themes or stories keep coming up that tell you a lot about what people are struggling with or craving right now?
Our question at the end is always, what is your idea of success, right? And I ask that because I think living in Korea, our definition of what success is it just narrows down time by time. I think if you, the recent drama, 김부장 이야기, so basically it's a drama that shows what, the real life of what it looks like to be like an executive at a company, and what you're striving for. Is it really what you wanted? Was it status? What do you want? Is it a house in Seoul? Is it some type of car? Because a lot of the times, these superficial things ultimately become what success looks like.
Yes.
Which is why I wanted to ask these people, hey, take a second before you come. Tell me what success is for you. And I think when you take the time to really think about it, there's such a diverse definition of what success is. And that's what I really get inspired by. Obviously, the stories that they tell as well. But for example, a CEO of a tea company who used to be an executive at a luxury brand who like threw away her like executive title and director title and started her very small, probably soon to be big company, said, if you have the yoyu, so the abundance in terms of not just financially, but your heart, that is success. And she sees that as if you give someone and you don't think of what you get in return, you simply just do it. And you have the means to do it without expecting anything else. She thinks that that is success. And I was like,
wow,
that's absolutely right.
That is.
You know, and some people, they want to change the world, right? And that's a grand dream that you can have and a success definition that you can have. Some people just want today. They're just like, if I can live like today for the rest of my life, that would be what success looks like. So many, many different versions of success that I'm seeing. I think that if you just take a second to really think about that, that might help you find the direction of life that you kind of want to bring together. And I think that's one of the questions that I look forward to every single time.
Wow, this makes me think about what success means to me. Like lots of things have been going on in my mind. Ooh, and the yoyu, wow, this will stay with me for a long time because that's something that I've been pondering on too. Yes.
It's time. It could be financial. It could be your mind, your mindset. There's so many places that it comes. And I felt rushed a lot, especially after my accident, which happened in 2023. It happened in May of 2023? April of 2023. And I was in the hospital in and out until December. And this was until like my late 20s, right? So this was when everybody was rushing forward. And I knew, and I thought I knew what success meant at that age. I wanted to be on the 30 under 30 list. I wanted to be an executive and all of that. And I felt super rushed, but there's just no meaning to it if you think about it. There's no need to be rushed if you just go at your own speed. So I don't know. My definition of success is changing all the time. There are some superficial things that are left in me that I'm okay to say. I think that's being very honest as well. Actually, Unu, who's a makeup artist as well, she said, I would love to do makeup for the rest of my life and have a house in Seoul. That would be my success. And I was like, I love that honesty. And I love that because it is reality. You don't need to, push away reality, right? So I think that really, inspires me.
So much to think about. I love it. And has hosting the podcast changed the way you listen, coach, or even take care of your own well-being?
Yeah, I think listening is a big thing. One thing that I learned from coaching are two skills, which is reflecting and summarizing. So number one is you just repeat what the other person says. And I thought that, I was like, what does that even mean? But when you do that, the other person also hears what they said, and then they get to reflect once again what they meant, or they might be like, oh, that's not exactly what I meant. And they clarify themselves, or they realize that that's the tone that they talk in. So it's really interesting when that happens. And then to summarize, there's no way you can summarize if you're just hearing.
Yeah.
Right? You have to listen to them. And one of the things that I really try to get is, what insights can I get right away from what they said? So usually they can talk for like 1 to 2 minutes, and I got to summarize that in 10 seconds. Then you got to bring out the part that the listeners or the watchers will probably feel is the most valuable. So bring that out as well is definitely a skill. And so I usually film 2 a day. And by the end of the day, I'm like, I didn't even talk that much, and I can't because there's a lot of energy that goes there. So
wow,
yeah.
This segment is for me. It's like one-on-one tutorial for me. Thank you. And for our next song break, let's listen to Zion T and his song "Love Me." That was Zion T with "Love Me." I love the song choices for
Yeah.
today. And let's take a look at a comment. Min F405X says, Life is good. 하지만 일이 마음처럼 안 될 땐 나쁜 생각이 유혹을 받게 될 때가 있어요. 저는 그럴 때 믿을 만한 친구에게 솔직하게 털어놔요. Life is good, but when things don't go the way I want, sometimes I get tempted by bad thoughts. And when that happens, I pour my heart out to a dependable friend. I think that's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
털어놓을 수 있는 건 it's a great thing that you do that.
Yeah. Actually, a Harvard study, because I was looking at, you know, what helps longevity, like what helps you have a longer, healthier life. And the number one element was having a healthy circle, healthy social life, and healthy relationships. So that's number one. Aside from fitness, aside from eating the most healthiest things, you could do all of that. But if you don't have the right relationships, it means nothing, right? So having a dependable friend is amazing.
It's great that you have a dependable friend that you can talk to.
Yes.
It's wonderful. And as we enter 2026, what is one question you think everyone should ask themselves to set a more resilient and positive intention?
Actually, I was listening to this real quick. I think it's hard for you to answer, or like, I don't like New Year's resolutions. I try not to because usually it just doesn't go that long.
작심삼일.
Yeah, 작심삼일. But I think I was actually watching a YouTube and I was like, oh, this is a great question. Is what do you not want to do this year?
Oh.
Like one thing you want to avoid this year and not want to do this year. I think that is actually a better question than most. Actually, this is the question that I ask when, you know, a friend is like, 누구 소개시켜줘, right? And, you know, you got to ask, okay, like, what do you like? What do you like? I like asking, what is an absolute no?
Wow.
Right? Because it's much easier to eliminate. So I think for this year, as we go in, positive intentions, there's so many things that you can say that you want to do. But rather than doing that, because there are too many, maybe you just tell yourself, this is the one thing that I want to avoid this year.
And what's the one thing that you want to avoid?
That's a great question. I think that I want to stop thinking too much and act.
Oh, just do it.
Yeah. So if I'm thinking about something for more than a week, then either I don't do it or do it. I think that's just what I'm going to stick with. So if I can't make up my mind and if I'm not going to do it, don't think about it anymore. Just put an end to it. But if I'm thinking about it and really want to do it, then try it out and don't, you know, be too worried about it. Yeah.
So think about what you don't want to do this year.
Yeah.
It's great advice. I will have to think about that too. And I asked our listeners 2 questions earlier today. One is, what is one thing you're grateful for today? And 2, what would be your self-affirmation of choice? What would be your answer?
One thing I'm grateful for today, I've been grateful for a lot of different things. So let me just list those out because that's good. Yes. I actually started a gratefulness journal, is it?
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice.
And I wrote it every single day until today. So great. I'm very proud of myself for that. So grateful for that. But grateful that I was able to wake up early in the morning, take a shower, and have positive thoughts in my head. I think rather than waking up and sighing, I was trying to get myself up and having a positive outlook, and it worked. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm grateful that my family, I saw their smiles. I saw my dad smile. I saw my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my dog, and my husband. I saw their smile at least once today. I didn't see my mom today yet, so I'm very thankful for that. Very thankful that I'm on this show. Very much happy to be reunited with Christina and to have met you and said hi. And grateful that like it's not too cold and I'm not freezing. Yes, it is freezing when there's wind,
but we still have clothes to help us
Yes.
stay warm.
Yes.
See, there's so many things to be grateful for. If you
So
think
many
about
things.
it, every single that we get to do a show together,
Yes.
and for our listeners that you get to listen to the
Yes.
show. Everything is to be thankful for, to be grateful for. Now, finally, what brings you the most joy right now?
What brings me the most joy? This is a great question. What brings me joy right now?
Is it your husband?
Yeah, I mean, every day he brings me joy and a lot of confusion at some times. But I think for me, these days is just health. Health brings me a lot of joy. And actually, obviously everyone does rounds for 새해 인사. And until this year, every single time, I think it's been, I hope you accomplish everything that you set out for. 하시는 일들 다 잘 되셨으면 좋겠습니다. Was my greeting. This year, it was 건강하고 행복하고 무엇보다 무탈한 한 해 되셨으면 좋겠습니다. So health and happiness, but also a year without too much chaos, right? I think having an ordinary day, as boring as it sounds, is actually the hardest thing.
That's right. My mom always says, 평범한 게 제일 어려운 거다.
Yes, it definitely is.
Right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming and for sharing your truly good vibes with us today. And Happy New Year.
Happy New
Year. Please come back again.
Of course.
Now, we're going to say goodbye to Jasmine and also close the show with another song chosen by Jasmine. And this is her mother, 인순이 선생님. And her song, 그래도 꿈은 흐른다, Dream. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Hyerim with producers Christina Saw and Kwon Chae-ryong and writer Liz. Have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow. Bye.